Barbara McDermott here with Shift Formula, and welcome to my zone. This is my little classroom where, we restore sanity and we brush off all the baggage we've been carrying through our adult lives as we have, been in pursuit of regaining or restoring health. This is Shift Formula, and we understand that it is so much more than working harder. How many of you out there get tired? This gal gets tired, probably for different reasons, but how many of us chase the elusive body fat loss? We're trying to lose weight. I want to share a story with you. Just recently, someone I really think highly of, and still do, which is why I was emotionally for this person. I get angry for you guys. I get frustrated for you. I was frustrated for my daughter. Not anymore. She understands how it works. But I'm frustrated when gyms and personal trainers and charts on the walls lead us to believe that there's a fat burning zone. There's a heart rate. Looking behind me, I'm drawing a picture of a heart. That if I can get my heart rate, beats per minute at a certain level, I'm in the fat burning zone. Yes. And then we have programs, gyms. I was a health club owner. I know what this is about. I was one of them telling my, members, get your heart rate in that fat burning zone and we'll monitor it and we'll keep track of it. And you can be involved in a program where, there's a little competition going on. How often can you get yourself in your fat burning zone? So the point was, during a class recently, an individual had explained why she was doing something a little bit differently from the rest of the class at times. No big deal. It's cool. We're all judgment-free zone, right? You can't do anything wrong, whatever works for you. However, I know that this person was in pursuit of burning body fat. And with the math behind me, if you're not watching and you're just listening, the chart or the algorithm that's presented to all fitness trainers is you take this number, 220, and subtract your age. That's my age, 58. And I come out with a number of 162. And then with that 162, between 60 and 70% of that number, which on my high end is 114 beats per minute, that is supposedly my body's fat burning heart rate zone. Now, I took my heart rate just a few minutes before we came on. I'm about 72 beats per minute, but if I get my heart rate up to that, I will be in fat burning. And, how many of us have worn monitors and we're either counting steps, good grief, or we're counting calories, God help me. And now, this is like a 1987 thing. I swear, when I even heard this person mention, I'm like, wow, the gyms are still doing that? Do we really believe that if I get my heart rate to an exact certain area, that I'm going to burn body fat? Well, here's the interesting thing. When we're in high intensity exercise, that's when we deplete glycogen from our muscles. That's when we're really burning sugar. At the ready sugar, stored sugar. It's when we're in slower kind of activity that we get our energy more from fat stores. In fact, when we're at rest, that's when 85% of the energy units or calories that we're burning actually come from fat. We burn fat more so right here when we're sleeping at night. This is what my Shift Insiders take advantage of. We're doing an extended intermittent fast this week, and guess what? We're still eating, but we're reaping all the benefits of eating strategically to get our body in the fat burning zone. And it has nothing to do with all that math. It has nothing to do with that. Because here's what this person, I believe, is struggling with. They think they're getting into the fat burning zone by hitting a target heart rate, but they don't realize that they're in a fat trap zone. Their body's in a fat trap. When does fat on our body, stored fuel, when is it trapped? You know when it is, right? It's when this is elevated. Insulin. I'm holding up a book, everybody who's not watching. This is Jason Fung's book, And chapter 7, he talks about insulin. And do you see what he says there? I can make you fat. Actually, I can make anybody fat. How? By prescribing insulin. Now, guess what, everybody? We all have insulin. All of our bodies are putting out insulin. Some people have to inject it. It won't matter that you have willpower or that you exercise. It won't matter what you choose to eat. You will get fat. It's simply a matter of enough insulin and enough time. So any of us who are struggling with body weight, cut to the chase, usually it's the belly fat that we can't budge. It's not because of these numbers and we're not hitting them. I'm writing the word insulin on the board, everybody. It's that our insulin is in a riot, I call it. We're in an insulin riot. Our body's pumping out a lot of this hormone, fat storage hormone and blood sugar lowering hormone, insulin. When insulin is about, fat burning is just turned off. Insulin is that powerful hormone that gets sugar handled first, and then you can revert back to using body fat. You know, even the fat digesting and burning enzymes aren't being produced when insulin levels are elevated. So we need to get insulin levels quiet. And guess what? All the fat burning that we're trying to do, running and getting that heart rate up, we can just actually stand here and be in our fat burning zone. Isn't that powerful? You know, when that individual said, I was trying to get into my fat burning zone, I thought, oh my goodness, you can just do that standing still. That's the big win. So it's not about working harder. It is indeed about working smarter. And the smarter you are, you know how to dial insulin in, get that insulin resistance broken. We all have a degree of insulin resistance. Insulin resistance means your body's putting out even more insulin. And as you age, your body tends to put out more insulin because your cells have grown resistant. It kind of comes with aging. This is why we have a middle-age spread. You know the middle-age spread we have here? That's blood sugar that's been shuttled into adipose tissue and converted to fat. Someone says to me, I don't have a blood sugar problem. I say, yeah, I see. You're wearing it around your waist as belly fat. So understanding the power of blood sugar in your life, everyone's life, not just those labeled diabetic or our unfortunate type 1 autoimmune version of diabetes, not just those guys, but all of us guys needs to know. Blood sugar and insulin, and you win when you understand that. And when you can dine in again on your body fat, instead of hitting the gym and hardcore in it, isn't it like almost, what's the word I'm looking for? I sometimes feel bad. It's a really bad adjective, but I feel like people are running and killing themselves trying to burn fat. And you and I are just walking down the street like in my fat burning zone. That's what I'm talking about. And when you dine in your own body fat at will, you literally forget to eat. Why? Because you're self-consuming. You're eating, using up the fuel you're carrying. That's how we're designed. We're good at accumulating the fat, but because insulin's elevated, we can't release the fat. Insulin down, body fat, just that whole releasing just turns around for us. Okay, thanks for letting me rant and rave again. I hope what we shared today gives you a little perspective, a little more awareness. It's not you. The gyms, the personal trainers, and those of you who are looking for zones, good grief, do a little research on hormones, because it doesn't matter how much energy you exert. If insulin's elevated, you're stuck. Okay, thanks for stopping by.